this is Cindy, and this is Destiny with the Keep It Real podcast, and we're here today with Venum from Redemption Championship Rasslin.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here with you. Ladies. I won't say guys, I'll say ladies.
We call everybody guys these days, so.
There you go.
Yes,
there you
thank
go. You. Don't want to offend anyone.
Yeah, right? So do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and about who you wrestle for?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So I'm debuting with Redemption Championship Rasslin, September the 30th in Lenore, North Carolina. I wrestle all over North Carolina, up into Tennessee. So I've been professionally wrestling for about 5 years now. Kind of started right before COVID, and then COVID kind of hit, and things went crazy for a little while. But yeah, Redemption Championship Rasslin, new company, and got a lot of big things in store, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. And I'm in the main event for the first show, so there you go.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're excited because I was talking with I forgot his name.
Eddie?
Eddie, yes.
Yeah.
And he was telling me a little bit about it, and I thought, it's really interesting, and it's a new company. Right.
Yeah, very new. This is the first show that they're running, so yeah. We're kind of like I guess we're in countdown for Saturday, and after Saturday we're planning on taking off.
That's awesome. What is your wrestling style?
Well, I wear a mask, but I'm definitely not a lucha as far as like Rey Mysterio or guys like that. I don't do flips. I'm one of those guys that I have an old school mentality. I like to keep things on the mat. I like to use holds. I like to use submission holds. Yeah, and I would just soon punch somebody in the face than do a moonsault off the top rope. So that's my wrestling style. So if you wrestle me, you're probably going to get punched and chopped and kicked a lot.
Do you like the grappling and shoot wrestling and?
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah. If I get past the second rope, my nose bleeds, so I try to stay off this. But no, I do. I love the submission holds and keeping things on the mat, because really it makes it more competitive. The person I'm wrestling has to outdo me, or I have to outdo them. It's not, taking a chance, and you might hit a move, you might not. So, it's all about the competition, and, usually I'm the better man. So.
Well, what was it that made you want to start being a wrestler?
Well, I mean, I've been a wrestling fan my whole life. As early as 4 or 5 years old, watching wrestling, and there's just something about it. When you're at a live show and you see the wrestlers, you see the reaction from the fans. They're larger than life, and it just grabs a hold of you. And when people say that once you wrestle your first match, you're hooked, they're right. I mean, it's a bug that grabs you, and you don't want to let go of it. I understand why people have such a hard time leaving the business, because it's hard to do.
Yeah. Destiny, she's just started training recently.
Awesome.
Yeah, she trains with FTC in Ohio, where Bobby Blaze is their trainer.
Right. Bobby Blaze, Smoky Mountain heavyweight champion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, you have any advice maybe for her? We always ask that, because everybody has a little bit of input on.
Sure. I mean, obviously, the bumps are going to be grueling. Obviously, if you're training, that the ring's obviously not a trampoline like a lot of people think, but cardio is the big key. If you can't breathe, you can't wrestle. So, make sure you've got really good cardio, and probably some of the best advice that I learned is when you go into a locker room, listen to the people that's been around for a long time. Listen to them, take their advice. because they want to see you succeed as much as you want to succeed, regardless of what people think, and they're not going to steer you wrong. So those are probably some of the biggest tips I could give.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And it's going to be hard. A lot of weekends away from home. So I wish you luck.
Thank you.
I just hope I never have to wrestle you. So.
Speaking of advice, what's some of the best advice you were ever given when you first started out?
Don't quit, because your first match is not going to be like your 100th match. And if your first match is great, then you obviously just need to go ahead and retire. But yeah, just don't give up. I mean, like I said, it's hard, it's grueling, it's time away from your family. Your body gets sore, but you just got to keep going and keep pushing and just never give up and never stop learning. You're going to learn. Once you decide that you know it all and you decide to stop learning in wrestling, you've went as far as you can go. You'll never grow any further. So those are probably some of the best tips that I was given. Never give up and never stop learning.
That's really good advice. I mean, because you could say the same thing for life in general.
Absolutely. Pro wrestling relates to everything, whether people want to admit it or not. So,
yeah, I always tell everybody when they ask me why, I've always liked it because I grew up with it, with my dad and my grandpa. Always, when they ask me, I'm always like, because you get everything.
Exactly.
Some people like soap operas. I like wrestling because you get the drama, you get the action, you get it's a total package.
It's everything wrapped into one, and it's everything in one show. You have to just watch one thing and you've got it all. So yeah. Those were my fondest memories too, watching wrestling with my dad and with my grandpa, well, my papa. I'm from North Carolina. So, yeah, those were some of my fondest memories too, just sitting around the TV or, going to the live shows and watching it. And, I think that's probably what made me dig as much as I've dug, because I want fans to walk away from one of my matches and have the same feeling that I had as a fan watching people like Ric Flair or Wahoo McDaniels or some guys like that. And I know I'm dating myself a little bit, but having the same feeling I had when I was there and watching those guys, I want them to have that same feeling about my match and walk away saying, that was something that I'll remember, and it was real to them. So
yeah, it was very real to me, and it was like, not to just talk about me, but for that time when you're watching it, it takes you away from everything else.
Absolutely, it removes.
So invested.
Exactly, whatever you got going on in your life, at least for the next 2 hours or whatever, it's removed, and you're living vicariously through someone else. So.
Is that how you feel about it when you're watching?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, there you go.
What was it that made you want to be a masked wrestler in particular?
Well, for one, I'm ugly. No, I love the mystique of the mask. I've always loved masked wrestlers, and I've always loved I have to be careful I say this, but Native American wrestlers, the headdress, but I've always loved the mask and the mystique of it, because, when you're wrestling a masked guy, you don't know really when they're hurting because you can't really see emotion. And, that probably one of the things that drove me to the mask is just because I can wear the mask. When I put the mask on, I'm a different person. And when I take the mask off, I can leave, and I don't have to go places and worry about people, stopping me and wanting to take pictures and things like that. Not that I mind doing that, but like I said, there's a lot of things that go into it, and for me, I guess the mask is my sanctuary. It helps me hide what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling. So
that's a good answer. I mean, I never thought of it that way. I just thought, oh, Pete's part of the costume. That's why I was curious.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of colors. And the one thing that I found is that kids are either going to love the mask or they're going to be extremely terrified from the mask. And so it goes 50-50. But no, it's a sanctuary for me. And, like I said, even though I'm me under this mask, I become a different person when the mask comes on.
Right. And I see your point too about when you're out with your family or whatever, you don't have to have that. You can have private time, your family.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and I'm very strict on the word kayfabe. I never let anybody see me. When I'm walking into arena, I have my mask on. When I walk out of the arena, I typically have my mask on, and I don't take it off until I'm away from everybody because, again, once people know who you are under the mask, it takes away everything from the mask. So.
Really does. Really does. I know I've seen masked wrestlers recently at an event that we were at, one in particular, and I just love him. I've always seen him with his mask on, but I never saw him leave with his mask on. So I know he's taking it off,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we wouldn't know who he was, but.
Yeah. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that because obviously if nobody knows who you are, they don't know who you are. But it's a big thing for me. I try to keep it on. And when I leave and then when I get away, I take it off and, I can just be me again going down the road. So.
Yeah. It's really cool. Who was your favorite masked wrestler?
Wow. Probably Mills Mascaras, probably. I followed a lot of his Mr. Wrestling as well. Again,
he was my favorite.
Predating myself, but there was another guy that, hey, you didn't see him without his mask on, no matter what. So and so those are probably my two biggest. Of course, obviously, I didn't get to see a lot of Mills as far as TV. Is kind of tape trading and things like that. But yeah, him and Mr. Wrestling definitely two of my favorites. I like Rey Mysterio now, but since I saw Rey without his mask, it's just, it's not the same. So
lost the magic, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because now he can come out there. Because I remember when he was wrestling without his mask.
Sure, yeah.
It was like when he put it back on, it was kind of like, what's the point?
What's the point? Everybody knows what you look like. Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So who was your inspiration to start wrestling? Were there any wrestlers that you were like, I want to be like them?
There was a lot of guys that I wanted to be like, but honestly, my inspiration for wrestling had nothing to do with a wrestler. My inspiration for wrestling had to do with my dad, actually. My dad had a rare blood disease, and so he was a quadruple amputee. He had no arms and legs, and but that was our thing. We went to wrestling, we watched wrestling, and I always said that if I ever got the opportunity, we actually used to go to church with a wrestler. He was a guy, an enhancement guy for Mid-Atlantic, and he would come visit my dad in the hospital, and he'd bring guys with him like Wahoo and Jimmy Valiant, guys like that to come and visit my dad. And but I always said if I ever got the opportunity to wrestle, I wanted to do it as a way to honor my dad. So that's really why I got into wrestling. It wasn't one specific wrestler that said I got to be like that guy. It was to honor my father. So.
And that's awesome. That says so much about you,
Yeah.
Not just wanting to copy somebody, but do it for your family.
Yeah. Because I could go out and I could be, I could dress like wear a robe to the ring and call myself a nature boy, but it's just stealing someone else. So yeah, that's really what drove me to do it. So
that's awesome. I love that. That's the first person I've ever heard say that, because usually everybody has an answer as to, oh, well, I think I could compare myself to this person. You're the first person that's really said that. You have, come on, I know you got something. She's working on her. speaking abilities.
Oh, you've got to be able. You got to be able to cut a promo in a minute. You got to let it out.
See?
Wear a mask. Nobody will know, and you can say anything you want.
Hey. So, what all areas does your company go to?
So right now, Redemption Championship Rasslin is just going to be based in North Carolina. I know that the first show's in Lenoir. The second show is in Gastonia in October. And then there's one in Mount Holly, North Carolina in November. So 3 lined up for already, but mainly just going to be traveling North Carolina with Redemption Championship Rasslin. I also wrestle for Wasp Wrestling. They're in Mountain City, Tennessee, so I wrestle for them. I actually made my debut for AIWF in Mount Airy a couple weeks ago. And I wrestle for a company called VTW in Claremont. So I spend a lot of time in between Tennessee and North Carolina right now.
So you're pretty well traveled.
Pretty well booked about every weekend. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking time to be with us then.
Oh, no, absolutely. I wouldn't have traded this for the world.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Is there anything else in particular about your company that you would like to talk about, or?
Yeah, I mean, so the main focus of Redemption Championship Rasslin is in the name, really, wrestling. Wanted to set apart from all these other companies. We want to be different. We're the company where the person who loved Mid-Atlantic and the person who loves Attitude Era and the person who loves what we have going on today can all come and enjoy the show. And there's going to be something for everyone. And that's really what we're striving for. The actual, the slogan, I guess you could say, is the slogan for Redemption Championship Rasslin was reviving tradition and igniting innovation. So, they want to keep tradition, but we also want to have something for the younger fans who like the guys like Ray and Dom and these guys that do these nice, pretty flips. We want to have something for everyone. So it's a family ordeal. Mom, dad, and the kids can come. They don't have to worry about someone saying something that shouldn't be said by one of the wrestlers. Can't help what the fans say. They don't have to worry about people being drunk and doing things around the kids. It's a wholesome family show. You can come and be entertained, and it's affordable. You can come, and you don't feel like you had to go take a loan out just to go watch a show.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So those are some of the main things we want to strive. We're striving to be different from every other independent promotion in the United States. We want to be different. We want when people come to our shows to say, hey, there was something different about that. And the next time they're in town, I'm definitely going to buy a ticket and come back.
Well, I'm sure you'll grow from doing that too, because I know my age. I know I'm dating myself too, but whatever. Because my favorite time, like when I first started watching it when I was a kid, it was Tommy Rich, Ric Flair, Wahoo,
Exactly.
Santana, and sometimes I'm watching wrestling now and I'm like, man, I really miss that. Their storylines and the way they fought and everything. It was almost more believable sometimes. I mean, I love wrestling now.
Yeah. And that's the key word, believability.
Mm-hmm.
Back in those days,
Yeah.
It was much more. And that's where like I said, I draw a lot of my, my wrestling, I guess you could say, skills or how I handle myself in the ring is I try to keep it as old school as possible. And I study, all kinds of tapes and, you you watch it, you learn, and you apply it, and who knows? You make it good or you make it bad.
Yeah. And I still go back and will rewatch the older ones. I'll get the kids, I'll be like, hey, watch this. Have you ever heard of this guy? Watch this, from 1982 or something.
Yeah, and I see you have I'm assuming that's Ricky and Robert, the pennant behind you, or is that Ricky and Carrie? Okay. Yeah,
Yes,
so
Ricky Carrie.
I'm gonna really tell on myself now, but that's Ricky and Carrie.
Uh-huh.
So I was in Shelby, North Carolina in 1985 as a kid when Ricky and Robert beat Ivan Koloff and Crusher Khrushchev for the NWA Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Championship belt. So I got to see that in person, and I'm glad Carrie's doing as well as Carrie's doing. He is a great athlete, and he's definitely making his dad proud. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure he is. Him and let's see, and there was the franchise up here, Shane Douglas.
Shane Douglas, yeah, Shane's. I love Shane Douglas. The franchise character is just, it's like no other, and so yeah, no, I'm a big Shane Douglas fan as well. So
yeah, I've always liked him. I remember my dad used to be like, "Why do you like him? Why do you like?" I don't know, Dad. I just do. He's just.
There's just something about him. Yeah, there's just something about him. So yeah, I love Shane, and I loved what he did in ECW, and he really took ECW and kind of catapulted it. The franchise character. He really was the franchise. So
I've always liked him, and he's such a sweet person. Like just talking to him, he's so down to earth.
Yeah,
very real. Who is the I'll ask you this. I know you mentioned that was it Wahoo that came to see your dad?
Wahoo, yeah, Wahoo, Jimmy Valiant, a lot of those guys, yeah.
I've heard so many good things about Jimmy Valiant. I've never got to meet him, but I've heard so many good things about that man.
He I've met him a few times, and he was actually in North Carolina last weekend celebrating his 81st birthday.
Aw, happy birthday, Jimmy.
So they one of the promotions had the Boogie Woogie Bash, and he was celebrating his 81st birthday. So yeah, he's been around for a long time. Again, I met Jimmy Valiant as a kid, and he signed an autograph for me, and that was just one of those things. Again, it just to be able to walk up to those guys and say, "Hey, can I have your autograph?" and they give you an autograph, and it was just a great feeling. Yeah,
it's harder to do that these days.
Yeah, because everybody thinks you're selling something on eBay, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we were talking about that not long ago. It's like, and now too, there's so much more security.
Absolutely, yeah. You just can't. Yeah, you can't get as close to them as you used to. I think now, the whole fan aspect. You may bump into them in an airport or something like that, but I think now it's created to where it's all a money market. They want you to pay to come see them, and like the whole, the WrestleMania access and things like that. So big difference, but that's what I love about indie wrestling.
Yeah,
you can meet your favorite wrestler. You can spend time with them, and that's one thing that I've always done. Is made sure that everyone that came up to talk to me, I made eye contact with them. I carried on a conversation with them, and I wanted them to feel like I was invested in what they were saying to me. So I try to make sure, because if it wasn't for them, none of us as wrestlers would do what we're doing. And, if we have to remember that. And, even when you're playing the heel character, it's okay to shake the little kid's hand and sign a picture for him or take a picture with him every now and then. Just don't let nobody see you.
Yeah. Yeah, my son, he tends to go toward the heels too. He absolutely loves them, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. And it's like, I think he's got a little bit of me.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to love the bad guy. Honestly, I work better as a heel, but right now I'm kind of doing babyface, and I love it. But I think I work better as a heel as far as my style goes. But and the heel version of me is is a better crowd interactor than the babyface, because again, with behind the mask, I'm not afraid to let go and say things that, yeah, I'm going to make you mad, and but at the end of the day, it's all in good, good fun, and most people don't take it too serious. But I've had a few incidents where some people didn't like what I said, and they wanted to fight, but hey, there you go. Yeah, it's part of wrestling.
Yeah, that happens. We've seen it happen a few times.
Yeah.
We've seen it not long ago. Can't remember which one we were at, but we saw a little kid actually kind of get through the barrier and kick a wrestler, and I was like, "Oh no, where's your mom?"
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. I've a couple times, some people wanted to try to come and thought they wanted to get in, but it doesn't take long for them to realize they don't.
Yeah. That's for sure. But yeah, that's part of the event. And you never know going to independent shows who you're going to end up meeting either.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously you run into somebody like Carrie or Ricky, or Jimmy Valiant. Yeah, you never know. Yeah. Tommy Rich, so you never know who you're going to run into at an indie show. And, those guys they're just as much relevant today as they were in the 80s, and people still love them just as much now as they did then. So, that's a great thing where you can go to an indie show and you can see a former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, or Ricky, who was a multiple time tag team champion. And, you get to see Kerry coming along, and I know Kerry lost the NWA Junior Heavyweight belt, but there's bigger and better things coming his way, I believe. But you can see the stars before they're stars, and you can see the stars. I won't say after their stars kind of dimmed a little bit, but you get to see them in a different light, and you get to realize that they're people just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get to see the legends. The living legends.
Exactly. And those are the people that, they're like a book, and you just need to read every chapter of them, because every scar that they have, there's a story behind every scar they have. And, I just love sitting around listening to them talk, and, just soak it in. It's the best part about being in a locker room, just hearing the veteran guys talk and hear the stories from things they did. And, you just hope that one day you're that guy, but, it's great.
Well, I know you said that you've been in this for 5 years, but what is your most memorable story, since you have been wrestling?
Oh, wow. Probably for me, is when I won my first heavyweight title. I won it in a steel cage match. And yeah. And so, my whole family was there. My mom, my sisters, my nephews and nieces were all there. And so to be able to win a title in front of my family, that was probably the biggest honor for me. And to win it in a steel cage made it even more, I don't know, sentimental, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably my most memorable. And and then wrestling during COVID times where there's nobody in a crowd, but you're still wrestling. And then, hey, a year later, you're working in a sold out crowd, and you're winning a title. And yeah, so it's very memorable for me.
Do you all have like a channel or a YouTube channel that people can watch?
They do. Yeah, there is a YouTube channel. It's Redemption. I believe it's Redemption Championship Rasslin. So they're getting some content up on it. They're gonna film all the shows, of course, and they'll be up on the YouTube channel. We have there's an Instagram as well, Redemption Championship Rasslin. TikTok, same thing. So yeah, but we're trying to definitely get some stuff up on YouTube and get some more content so people can see what we're all about.
Okay, that's good. Do you have, if anybody's interested in contacting you yourself, like for bookings or anything, how would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, they can just go to my Facebook page. It's Venum Gun for Hire. And just send me a message. That's typically how I correspond with people via Facebook Messenger. And so if they're interested, I have a YouTube channel as well. It's Venum Television, VENUM Television, and they can go on there and see some of my matches. Don't have a lot of content up right now. Lost a bunch of content when I changed some things over, but working on getting some more up. But they can see some of my work there, and then Facebook, TikTok. I'm on TikTok as well, and I don't do Instagram a lot. I have an account, but I don't do Instagram a lot. So best bets through Facebook to get in touch with me.
Okay. So who would you say your favorite wrestler is right now?
Right now, probably MJF.
MJF, love MJF. I love him so much.
He's the total package right now. He can talk and he can work, and he's leaps and bounds above most people. So right now he's got to be my favorite. I'll be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of wrestling nowadays, the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I follow MJF quite regular.
He's awesome. He's so charismatic.
Yeah, he plays the perfect part.
Yeah, he reminds me. I think the reason he caught my eye so much is he reminded me of a Ric Flair. Just his style, and he was just so charismatic and just look at me. This is what I have. And he's so good on the microphone, and
when he opens his mouth and begins to talk, you believe what he's saying, and you hang on to every word he's saying. And he's, like I said, he's got it all. He can talk and he can work, and you don't find that much anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you sure don't. Who would be your top 5 of all time? Like from when you started watching it.
Oh, wow. I've never really thought about that much, but I know most people would say Ric Flair, but not for me. I would say probably Wahoo McDaniel, Jay Youngblood, and Ricky Steamboat. They were a phenomenal tag team. Gosh, there's just so many. I don't know if I could limit it to 5, but yeah. And I would probably say Ricky Morton, definitely. And honestly, probably Roddy Piper.
Hey, I loved Roddy Piper.
Yeah, he was
so good.
He was another one of those guys that could do it all too. So
he was. Yeah. I really miss him. He was a very memorable person.
Yeah, absolutely. And people, when you bring up dog collar matches, they automatically go to the Roddy Piper, Greg Valentine dog collar match. And that happened, 30, 40 years ago?
That's been a while.
He did something right, that's for sure. So.
Yeah. I think about him, and I think about Buzz Sawyer, Junkyard Dog, all of those back in that era too. But yeah. Do you want to play a little quick game?
Sure, absolutely. Sorry, my cats are kind of.
Hey, we love cats. We've got them all over the place. So.
We have a couple little kittens, so they're kind of rambunctious.
I'm just going to name like 5 wrestlers, and you say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Always start off with Ric Flair.
Ric Flair? The greatest of all time.
Let's see. You pick one. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
The toughest SOB in the game.
The Great Muta.
Oh gosh, the Great Muta. I don't even know how to. I love Muta. The Mist is what it just attracted me. Phenomenal is all I can say, I guess.
It's great. You don't have anybody?
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker. Gosh, he's tall. It's not like, yeah, not a big Undertaker fan. Sorry to let you down.
Sherry Martel.
Sherry Martel, probably one of the, well, not one of the greatest women wrestler in history, and manager as well. She knew what her role was, and so yeah, I have to give her one. I have to give her the GOAT too on the women's side.
I agree. Love her. I didn't care for her a lot then because she was picking on my people that I liked.
Yeah.
But I recognized
she
her
did her
talent
job.
Longer,
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she did her job. She made you hate her.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When she was with Macho Man, I had issues.
Yeah.
But when she was with Shawn Michaels, I started liking her.
She did her best work, I think, with Shawn Michaels. Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. I really loved her. Undertaker, the reason you got that look from her is he is who made her want to start wrestling.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just not an Undertaker fan. Sorry.
I love him as a person, but I was never a huge Undertaker fan either. You know.
Yeah.
But that's
really
made her notice it. You know.
Yeah. And hey, that's all good and grand. He's just never really done it for me. So.
I mean, everyone has their own.
I liked him as Mean Mark.
A lot of people don't remember him as that.
No, most people don't remember him as Mean Mark. They just remember him as Undertaker, and I think he did his best work as Mean Mark, maybe because he got to be himself. But I won't take anything away from Taker. He is great, but just not my cup of tea.
Who would be your dream match for you?
Whoa.
Who would you like to wrestle?
So you talking about like now or just ever period? If could ever have happened?
Yeah, ever. Who would that one person be?
Honestly, probably. Gosh, that was a hard one too. Ricky Steamboat.
He was good.
I believe Ricky Steamboat would be the guy that I would pick. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. He was so talented.
Greatest arm drag in history.
Yeah. I really.
Nobody can do an arm drag like Ricky. So, yeah.
There's a lot that people today can't really. And I'm not putting any wrestlers down that wrestle today. I love it. I love wrestling, period. But I guess where I grew up with it, I'm like, there's so many that aren't actively wrestling now that can really teach people today a lot. If they look back.
Exactly. I think the problem with today's younger generation is, and I won't say all of them, but the majority of them is they don't want to listen to the older guys. They think they know what's best, and they'll people like Ricky Steamboat, people like Ricky Morton. Those guys again can just teach you endless amounts, and and make you better. But when you come at it with the attitude that you already know it all, you can't help people like that. So
right. So I'm saying not taking anything away from the ones today, but the older ones went through so much, like I feel like that sometimes they didn't get all of the instruction that's available today. They
learned on the road. Yeah, they learned on the road. They just said, here it is, go do it. And that's how they learned. And they didn't have somebody writing promos for them. They didn't have somebody telling them exactly what to say. That's another advice I can give you. Promos, practice your promos every day. Don't expect somebody to tell you what to say. Be able to, if somebody says, you got a match tomorrow, this is who you're facing, be able to cut a promo and make it believable. You're the one that's selling the tickets. And, you have to make the people want to buy and invest in you. So promos are very important.
Thank
You're quite welcome.
Now she's already in the ring and she'll do anything that they tell her to do. She'll go for it. She's just getting that out there. But she's doing good.
Yeah,
She's
and
doing
it'll
better.
come.
Yeah.
It'll come. One of these days it'll be second nature to you. You'll be cutting promos in your sleep.
I'll be going, what
My
was
cat's
that?
trying to pee.
Aw. Hi, kitty.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Like I said, we love cats. It's all good. Is there anything else? Like, do you all have like any kind of merch that people can look for, or do you like sell tickets online? Or
I'm having a hard time hearing you. So.
Breaking up. Are we back?
I can't hear
you. Guys
I can
next
hear
time,
you.
make sure you like, follow.
I can hear you now.
You can hear me. Yay!
I can hear you now. Yes.
After we asked you. Yay!
Sorry
I was just
about that.
asking, do you
Sorry
have
about
any?
that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was just thinking, what are we gonna do? So I just started talking about your social medias.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm an idiot.
No, you're not. You're not. I was asking, do you have a way for people to order? Like, do you all have any merch or way people order tickets, or is it just at the door?
So yeah, they can get tickets at the door, obviously. If they'll go to the Redemption Championship Rasslin, that's RASSLIN, Facebook page, just send a message. Our live events coordinator, Lauren Kern, will get back with them and give them the information if they want to prepay for tickets, or if they just want to say, hey, I'm coming. Can you have 4 at the door for me? They'll have them ready for them that way. So, yeah, they can get tickets that way. They are working on having some shirts made right now. They'll probably offer those just via like Facebook, or you can buy them at the show, but they are working on a Pro Wrestling Tees store as well. So hopefully they'll get that up and running as well.
Okay. Do you have like glossies or anything that people want to want pictures that you can get autographed or?
Absolutely. If anybody, I've got the pictures. If anybody decides, hey, I want to, I'd like to get an 8x10. All they got to is just send me a message, Facebook, shoot me their address. I'll sign one and send it to them. Typically don't charge people for that because, like I say, without the fans, we're nothing anyway. So it takes 5 minutes to sign a picture and mail it. So yeah, if they're interested and they want an autographed picture, all they got to do is just shoot me a message on Facebook. I'll be glad to get them one out.
That's so great. That's so good. Mm-hmm. We might send you a message sheet and be on our wall.
Absolutely. I'd love to be on the wall.
Yeah, we'd like that. We'd love that. Love that. And hopefully if you all are ever, if you're wrestling for any promotions or anything anywhere close to where we're at, let us know, because we go to Kentucky, Ohio, areas in there. So that'd be great.
Yeah. So looking at working my way into West Virginia and to Virginia, maybe into Kentucky. So those are some areas that I'm looking into to branch out to as well. So you never know. May just pop up in one of those areas, hopefully. So
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Do you have anything else that you want to share with anybody?
Hey, just go to the Facebook page to Redemption Championship Rasslin. You can go to my Facebook page as well, Venum Gun for Hire, and just give a like and a follow. And I correspond. So if people ever just shoot me a message, they want to just say, hey, what's up? Or where you're going to be at. I always respond back, and it's me responding back. So it's not someone else doing it for me. So it's interaction with me. But yeah, follow, make sure to follow Redemption Championship Rasslin, because there's going to be a lot of good things coming out of that. Luka Daniels is actually coming to the first show. He's been on AEW and WWE. And plus, he's also been on Heels, been in an episode of Heels on Stars. So he
Oh,
will
wow.
be he'll be making his debut as well. So he will be there, and I'm sure he'd love to meet everybody as well. So
Yeah, that's really cool. Really cool. Thank you so much for taking
no,
time
thank
to
you.
talk. Oh, you're welcome. We
Yeah,
really enjoyed it. We'll have to get you to come back on again if you'd like
absolutely. And I'll lock the cats up the next time.
to.
What kind of tough wrestler has kitty cats running around, right? So,
That's all right.
yeah.
We love cats
Mhm.
and we love wrestlers and we love wrestling. So a great thing. But
It goes great. Yeah. Yeah. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
oh, you're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. And again, we'll have you back again. This has been Cindy, Destiny, and Venum from Redemption Championship Rasslin. Rasslin, y'all. Not wrestling.
Wrestling. Right.
Rasslin.
Wrestling.
Remember that.
Right.
Go give them a like, give them a follow, get in touch with them, go see their show. Independent wrestling is the most amazing thing, you all. I mean, you don't want to miss out on it. And give us a like and follow and subscribe on our channels also. And we'll put all of the links and stuff in the comments so that you'll know how to get in touch with Venum. And we thank you all again. Y'all have a great day. Bye.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.